Good morning, good morning, good morning, my wonderful people. We are here once again, and we are super excited to have you as part of the show. As usual, we keep reminding everyone that you are a stakeholder in what we are doing. So don't sit there and say, "Oh no, one ending me and Ninas." But when it was our mandate, what is that P2B's mandate? Everybody showed up in force.
Obedience. Mm.
Obedient mandate. Everybody showed up in in high spirit and high force and all kinds of stuff, pushing for the so-called mandate. The thing that we knew wasn't gonna save you. The stuff that we knew was already rigged before the due date. You were seeing PVCs all over the bushes, all over the gutter, and you still went. And then when it comes to the one thing that will help you, so who name us? Continue to do it over there. Who name us?
It's so crazy how people like run and push something that is wrong with so much energy. Only Melinda here. How does this happen?
My
You see
dear.
something that is wrong, you just put all your mind on your head and
Ihe agwa ndị intelligentsia,
ah,
the people that other people listen to and follow.
that's how professors are going to vote in a online referendum. Professors that should lead our people.
Oh, okay. We will not digress.
No, we will
You
not.
guys are too much. But we love you all. We love
I
our
love
people.
you.
That's the reason why God put us in the midst of Ndara. So we are okay. We're okay. We're going to take care of our Ndara. We'll get cloth and cover you guys. As mothers, as sisters, as daughters, we will cover your nakedness. We will cover your
Yes.
naked. That's our duty. And we are going to wear with honor. So thank you for joining us. I don't want to waste time today. Today is February the 3rd of 2024. We are in a different month. As usual, continue to help us to share, hit the like button. Even during the show, as we are watching, periodically hit the like button. It helps to, alter their algorithms so that other people can see what we're doing. But regardless, work is going. Please, once again, I want to give a hand of applause to our people going to the classroom and using blackboard and chalk and putting things on the board. We thank you. We thank you. This is what we've been asking for. Thank you, our brothers and sisters in riverine areas. We thank everyone that is working, tirelessly to ensure that our people understands what we need to do to get to our destination. So let me stop talking because we still have to share and allow my sister to introduce herself.
Yes. Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you, our viewers, the early birds, and those coming for the first time. We appreciate you. Please, my sister will pull up a video so that as we share, it will be going. My name is Eputasunamadi Begi, and live in Lexington, Kentucky. Um, it feels good to go from back of the world to civilization. We will tell our people that things are not okay. They keep arguing, arguing, arguing. What are you arguing? What are you defending? Something that is broken. Do you defend failure? What are you doing? So please continue to help us to share. Esther will play this video as we go on. Thank you.
Extraordinary alert. A few days ago, this is June 2023. A few days ago, this fellow that was governor in Kaduna, what's his name again? Nasir El-Rufai, was caught on video addressing some Muslim clerics. And then he was telling them about the victory they have now achieved over the rest of Nigeria, that will now be an Islamic, state, some kind of, that they has done it in Kaduna, they've now replicated it at the center, and by the time everybody does their first 8 years and another 8 years, that they have taken over. Well, for those who do not understand what game is being played. Ninas will explain it to you now. El-Rufai was talking about Islam because he wants to deceive you who do not know. What he was celebrating with his confederates is basically the success of the conquest agenda of the Fulani, that the Fulani now own Nigeria, and that nothing anybody can do. That was why he probably did not plan to make it something everybody should hear. But in these days of technology, somebody recorded him, and the whole world now knows. That is a confirmation of the suspicion, our charge, which has been in the realm of allegation, conjecture in the minds of those who have not paid sufficient attention. But we who have gone to research how we came about this union of death, this union of master and servant, this constitution of slave and slave master, unitary constitution of Nigeria. We have traced the emergence of that unitary constitution, that constitution of master and servant, that constitution that makes Nigeria the exclusive possession, the exclusive property of the Fulani. We traced it back to 1960, the battle script of Ahmadu Bello, the mission statement of Ahmadu Bello in October 1960. While the rest of Nigeria was drinking champagne for what was labeled independence, Ahmadu Bello was celebrating something entirely different with his lieutenants. And he told them that the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great-grandfather Uthman Danfodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We use the minorities of the North as willing tools and the South as a conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us and never allow them to have control over their future. This was reported in Parrot newspaper of 12th October 1960. Now, this battle script by Ahmadu Bello brings us to two things. We go to the map of Nigeria. The MNN was the precursor to NINAS. The map of Nigeria that puts Nigeria in the four compartments of its natural fault lines. The upper part that is the Sharia belt in green. The purple you see is the middle belt, and that middle belt includes southern Kaduna, southern Borno, and all the Christian fringes of those 12 states that went to do Sharia in year 2000 simultaneously. So let's be clear that that middle belt it does not respect the southern boundaries of those 12 states. The Christian communities from Chibok all the way to Zuru in Kebbi, from the east to west of that, the line is drawn by the reality of who is on ground, not what Nigeria did by decree. And so you come down south, you see the blue block is the Yoruba that includes Yoruba of Kwara, Yoruba of Kogi, and part of Edo if they may go to play the side to determine. And then the balance of what you have is the lower Niger, that's the former Eastern region and the former Midwestern region together. But even as it is brown on as you see, there's a map that delineates the ethnic constitution of that lower Niger, that's eastern half of southern Nigeria. So we're trying to bring you to see what Ahmadu Bello was talking about in that battle script. So you have seen this map now. That's the first thing that comes. So you begin to imagine the processes in keeping with that instruction, that mission statement, that vision of the Ahmadu Bello. The ruthlessness you saw in that battle script was what attended to the quarrel with Eastern Nigeria between 1966 and 1970. Those nearly over 3.5 million, by Gowon's account, he said they had to kill 5 million people to preserve Nigeria. That was Gowon's figure. We say no less than 3.5 million got killed, of which no less than 2 million were children who were deliberately starved to death. You saw the video from Red Cross just the other day. And so it was that ruthlessness that Ahmadu Bello dictated in that battle script of 1960 that attended to that what should have been a civil war. But General Philip Effiong's son just released a book in which he said, a book entitled An Uncivil War. The war was not any kind of civil war. It was a war between countries. You say there was a country called Biafra at the time, which was the eastern region that had to pull away when genocide was launched against it, and the rest of Nigeria. Of course, there are renegades in the coastal side of eastern Nigeria that eventually went with them. Anyway, we come back to the question of ruthlessly preventing a change of power. Kill whoever you have to kill. Seize all their assets. Don't ever let them recover. Don't stop. That's what that means. You come down to the using the willing tools of the North, the minorities of the North as willing tools. Back to our map. Look at the people that did the killings on behalf of that caliphate. You see Gowon, you see Danjuma, you see Jeremiah Husseini, you see David Mack, and the whole number of them. On that map, 80% of the killings that had to be done, they presided over it. And that's how they could come to the victory charter. At the close of proceedings in 1970, everybody had been beaten down. Oh yes, let's kill the Igbo and their neighbors. And so the victory charter from that war was what became constitution between 1975 and 1979. Now look at who processed that constitution for them. Yes, Murtala Mohammed commissioned it, Kano, but he died in February of 1976, and so his second in command, Olusegun Obasanjo, took charge and then executed what will become the permanence. The Ahmadu Bello meant that this situation in which the Fulani will prevail and own Nigeria must be permanent. So the constitution, the unitary constitution that was imposed as victory charter from that war of 67 to 70, the so-called Biafran War, is the mechanism by which the victory was made permanent. So their victory was codified, and it was a member of the slave South, a member of the conquered territory, because if you are conquered, you are a slave. So Obasanjo essentially was the head slave who had to do for the master what the master wanted. And so Obasanjo presided over the processing of that victory charter into constitution that became 1979 constitution. And it was the same Obasanjo that caliphate found to bring her from prison in 1999 to reinforce and reinstate that 1979 constitution. That is where we are. It is that victory of having that Ahmadu Bello's vision transformed into reality imposed, all our assets are gone. The oil and gas of Niger Delta is taken by that constitution. The ports of Lagos, the ports of Port Harcourt, taken by that constitution. The bitumen of Ondo, taken by that constitution. The limestone of Benue, for which Dangote has become richest, Africa's richest man, taken by that constitution. The right to build your infrastructure, railway, road, everything, taken by that constitution. All the institutions, all the armed forces today, controlled by those same set of people. And so, what El-Rufai, in case you did not understand, I want you to understand that El-Rufai is saying to all of us that that vision of Ahmadu Bello that has been, operationalized by way of the constitution that codifies their stranglehold, their victory over all of us, has now been completed. And the ethnic cleansing we see, the Fulani invasion that is going on, is happening within the context of that conquest that has now to be finalized by the elimination of the future claims. The ethnic cleansing, the killings happening in southern Kaduna, killings happening in Plateau, killings happening in Nasarawa, Benue is coming to Port Harcourt. It will sweep eastern Nigeria. It's not going to leave Yoruba out. If anybody is stupid enough to think that Yoruba will be treated differently, sorry for you. Go and ask about Afonja and what happened to Ilorin. They are not going to leave anybody. So El-Rufai is telling us in triumphant arrogance, he is now boasting that they have conquered and they are going to just take it. What can any of you do? The reason he's able to do that is that constitution that is the victory, the codification of their victory is still prevailing.
Yep.
The only reason that constitution is still prevailing is that all of you are going to election every 4 years, pretending to be doing a democracy on the basis of a constitution of master and servant that puts you as servant, that take your assets, that put all the guns in the hands of those who took your assets to order you around, those who control the electoral machinery, because that constitution has 68 items on the exclusive list. Everything on that list is controlled by Fulani. Whereas
everything on that list is controlled by the Fulanis. And as long as we remain docile, complacent, prayerful, because some people will say, let's go and Holy Ghost fire them out of the space. As long as we continue to run in circles, they will continue to exert their power over us. And in a manner that we will not like, in a manner that will hurt everyone involved, in a manner where when you wake up today to go buy a bag of rice, when you go to pick it up, there's another $9,000 on top of it, or Naira on top of it. And we're telling you that you don't have to live like that. There is no reason for you to live like that. There's no reason for you to continue in that manner. You have a strategy that can end all of this. If you have the energy to put into a mandate that you saw life, all your PVCs were in the trash, in the gutter, in the backyard, in the ground, everywhere, and you still push through. If you cannot push through this project, then you deserve to perish. You deserve to buy rice for 1 million naira a bag. You deserve for your naira is 15. I called somebody last week. He's telling me that naira is, and this is someone selling money. He said you can get one. Did he say no, 1,500 and something? Can you imagine? So that means everything is going for a nosedive. Are you waiting for Nigeria to happen to you before you join the league of people that want peace for that geographical space? Are you waiting to perish before you do the right thing? Mothers and fathers, what are you waiting for to live a sustainable future for your children? What are you exactly waiting for? You've tried your churches. You build churches everywhere and remove all the industries. You fasted and prayed. You went to, what is that thing the Yoruba churches used to schedule every December? Shiloh. You have Shiloh'd and Shiloh'd for years, praying continuously, fasting. If you get a 2-year-old in Nigeria now, they will, by the time they finish praying and prophesying for you, man, you will think you have gone to heaven. And yet, hunger is catching every one of us. So please continue to help us to hit the like button. As you can see, these people don't want our people to get this news, and but they are, because what we are doing is offline. This is for those overseas. As you're sending money to your brothers and sisters, tell them to key into what Ninas is doing, because I don't know how long you think you're going to be young and working and sending home, because that's all we've been doing. It's we that are sustaining the Nigerian economy. We, the ones in diaspora, they don't have any economy. They take out more. You will see from the data that we show you today that more from investors is taken out of Nigeria that they bring into Nigeria. It's we in diaspora that is remitting the money that is keeping that stupid Nigeria going. But for how long are we going to do this? You know, the people that initially came here, most of them are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Their children ain't going to send any money. They don't even know their cousins that well. They're not going to be sending money. So when we all die off, the next generation will leave you guys to your peril. So you see that we're in a dire situation. Anyway, let me not go off. Sister, you can add while I pull up our intro for the day.
Yes, we don't have too much time to complete this assignment, and we are talking to our people, especially those that have put themselves in some form of franchise in the name of freedom. You have gone to contribute all your money. The first one came, you contributed and gave to him. He went with it. Then he's now in APC. The second one came, you contributed and gave to him. He's in PDP and inside prison. Another one came. They are working with APC. They are all political. They are working. They are political thugs. They are not freedom fighters. So they keep selling you. They gather you together in one place, sell you. The only one thing we are begging you to support is what you're not contributing money to. We are not even telling you to bring money. We are saying open your brain and understand it so that you can be part of it and push it the way you should push it. Not with money, just with your brain. But you found it very easy to take all your money and give to criminals that are telling you they want to bring freedom for you. That's not going to happen. Nobody gives anybody to freedom. There is a process, and you must follow that process. By the way, we say kudos to our grassroots food soldiers. Thank you for all you know yourselves. You don't need to call your name. You know yourselves, and you're working very hard. So kudos to you because you know the truth. You have been where they did 419 in the name of freedom fighting. Now you know what it is. So kudos. It takes somebody that is noble to embrace truth and embrace righteousness rather than deceiving himself or herself. So we appreciate you. Are you ready, my sister?
Yes, yes, we definitely appreciate you. So, our topic today is Nigeria, a country held hostage in servitude. Nigeria, a country held hostage in servitude. I don't care how much you guys pretend. I don't care how much you post online, lean on your Lamborghini and wear all the name brand shoe. You are in a held hold. You're a slave. You just reside in an open air prison. That Osman Danfodi already reminded us of that how many years ago. It's us that are lying to ourselves. He told us that you belong to his estate. And we told ourselves, yes, we are tenants, but we are going to make more noise than the landlord. But you can make all the noise that you want. I'm just collecting my rent. Hmm? And one policy change. If I hear any music with one policy change, you will go to prison for years. You and your implanted butt and breasts. You will be imprisoned. So, as a woman was crippled by a spirit of bondage and infirmity for 18 years, she was bent over and could not straighten up at all, nor fulfill her destiny. This is in Luke 13, from 11 to 16. Our Lord Yeshua asked the church leaders, the kind of church leaders that we have now, the one that you're telling them that we shouldn't be going to election, they will say, I will go where the animals go. I will go where the sheep go. I'm not the leader anymore. They lead me and I will follow. So our Lord asked them, shouldn't this woman whom Satan has kept bound for 18 long years be set free from what bonds her? Very legitimate question. Of course, when you're wuru wuru, you're not an honest person, you wouldn't be able to answer this kind of question. But today we are asking the same thing. Shouldn't the indigenous peoples held hostage in servitude and bound for over 100 years long by the wicked forces of feudalism and imperialism be released from their bondage? Haven't we suffered enough? Haven't they taken so much money from us unabated for years? The worst part of it that they will destroy your economy and then they will go and make immigration law for you not to come to their own land. What an impetus. They will work hard to destroy other people's land, indigenous peoples, where they are living in peace. So cultivating cassava and granite and garlic and whatever, they will go and destroy it. And then when you want to leave and come to their destiny, they will send a roadblock. So as usual, today we will enlighten and equip those who are sincere and truthful, who wants to know exactly how can we get out of this dire situation. We'll talk about the tools that we can use to set ourselves free from this bondage that we are in, and how you can join the campaign for the complete decolonization of Africa and Nigeria. Because if we get rid of these people holding us in an open air prison, I know my people, we are very giving, we are very loving. Whatever that benefits us, we will make sure that our brothers and sisters all over the world get the same benefit. So they know. That's why if you go online and Google, these people have been tracking us everywhere we are. They've been tracking us. They want to make sure that we don't raise up and raise the next generation that will allow our people to live a life envious of others, because they will be envious. They're already envious when we are in a prison camp. Imagine when we're able to do things freely. They won't be able to stand it. So we'll go over to our PowerPoint. So today is a learning day. It's not unusual, or it shouldn't be unusual for you to get your pen and your paper ready, because we like to show and tell. We don't like to ask you to go and ask your Lord in prayer so he can reveal it to you. No, we are giving you evidence. We are giving you data. We are not waiting for any Lord in prayer to do anything. We are going to do it because he gave us the brain. We are very smart people. I'm smart. I don't know about you. My sister is smart. So we are here to give you guys the tools that you need to understand what needs to be done. What needs to be done? It's a no-brainer. Please continue to help us to share and hit that like button. As you can see, this beautiful picture here, this slideshow. Okay, so see, once I go to the slideshow, I can see the background. So let me know. Right, so you can see this beautiful picture that's really, really depict what we are talking about today. Because we are slaves. I don't like again, like I said, I don't care if you're number one Hollywood actress. When you come here, they will let you know you're a monkey and a baboon. That picture there with that guy, this is how these people have set our mind. It's so like when you begin to think about the level of wickedness the world has unleashed on brown people, continue to unleash on brown people and pretending like they are Lord and the Savior. It can only give you the worst migrainous event you can ever imagine in your whole life. It can only give you that. So you are still in bondage, my dear. So our objectives today is to look at the existence and potency of Fulani conquest agenda. They are not playing. They're already messing with your food line. The reason why they are displacing our brothers and sisters who are, in charge of planting what we eat is that in the next few years, you will be so hungry, even if you're Islamic, because God, look at all the places they have turned to Islamic nation. So even when the time comes, they will deal with you in a manner you will never believe. Because it's worse enough that fine, they turn you to become an Islamic agent or whatever. You become one, and then you live life with dignity. You will not. I know a doctor that went to school here, studied, he's a radiologist from zoo, background is the Yoruba Islamic area. She ran to Dubai to go and work. My dear, not Dubai, Saudi Arabia. She ran back. She said the kind of discrimination they gave her. She said she'll be going to the store, they'll be following her around. Also, would you watch the bank?
No, you should have gone there now. Is that not where their God is?
Yeah, and she still wraps her head and cover her nose and everything, and yet it wasn't enough for them.
Wasn't enough.
So as we wait in all of this, the Nigerian debt cloth is creaking. They are wrapping us around in debt so that so that held us hostage will continue to say Jehovah. And they're not doing anything with the money. We are going to look at the economy sustained by foreign remittance, why the Fulani nation is holding Nigeria hostage in servitude. We're also going to look at eco wars and eco ease, what it used to be, and what other African nations are doing, the proposed verdict on Nigeria. We'll also look at the final decommissioning of the debt of union of debt, consequences of events, why African men cannot do it alone. We have to collaborate. It's a partnership work that it needs to be done. And then lastly, we look at the take-home points. So I'm not going to waste time on this one because my brother again reminded us how this declaration was made. He wasn't playing when he said all of this. This is to put the mind of his British masters at peace that I got this. I will deal with them. Don't worry. This is how much I want to deal with them. I'm not even going to tell you in the meeting room. I will come and say it out on a radio and then put it on a newspaper to let you know that I know what I plan to do. So I'm not pretending.
And he was very sure that our people would not take note of what he's saying.
Osman down for the Kuoncha.
Yes.
And then they keep it moving.
And your brother will come and defend. Oh, they killed they buy them their leaders without knowing what happened and talking whatever they feel like talking. People are still defending this atrocity till today.
It's sad to say the least. So let's look at the existence of potency of Fulani conquest agenda. And like my brother said in the video earlier, this is confirmed by 805. As God will have it once again, somebody videotape it for you and put it in your in your hand. But it's still not making sense to you. As we are speaking, Nigeria is going for a nosedive. Look at that plane going down with that fire. You can imagine the kind of explosion that will erupt when it hit the ground. Just imagine that. That's what we're dealing with. And we're telling you guys, we don't have to go that route. There is a way out. And people are pretending, waiting to see if they can get their visa to UK and Dubai, and then taking their children and their wives on. Unbelievable.
It's so terrible. People love Nigeria from outside the shores of Nigeria. If you love Nigeria so much, why are you running out? No. Stay inside and enjoy it now. I thought it's your land and you have no other one. It's your country.
Yes, they want it there. They want it there for holidays so they can come and change their dollars.
Show off.
Yeah, to show off. Yeah. Where else are they gonna show up? Do anybody know them in their neighborhood?
Nobody knows them actually.
They know them in our neighborhood. So they are reserving the place. They will never do anything to make it right. They are reserving the place for Christmas to tell the boys.
Come and show the poor. I have arrived.
Mm-hmm. And have Mama Nkechi dancing for them for giving her 1,000 naira. So they can feel good about themselves. So Fulani Nation, the Caliphate, is holding Nigeria hostage while they're advancing their conquest agenda. You heard Urufai. He's thanking God for meeting the goals of his great-grandfather, Usman Danfodio. They're doing this also to keep Nigeria in huge debt and devalue currency while building their empire. I know our money is going somewhere else. In our name, they will take this money in your name, my name, and everybody's name, and they use it for their own goals. And 1999 Constitution is their visa. To come into geographical space, and also a tool that they use to operate within the space. We heard the governor of Kano one time that said Nigeria is fluid. Anybody can sneak in.
No, Governor of Bauchi, he said that the Fulani Nation is fluid, so it's flowing everywhere, and they have the right anywhere. They don't respect boundaries. They don't respect people's boundaries. They appear and take over because they are called Fulani Nation. And our people are listening, hearing these things. and continue to be docile
Hey,
because
Shimon,
they have
please
a church, because
continue.
they have religious leaders that are using them to make money. Ogwego.
Right. And this tool that we're talking about, this constitutional tool that you're using, is also a means of giving them access to stealing all our mineral resources. You also render our people poor and keep us in abject poverty and allow us to remember servants for years, like almost like those alamajiris. That's what everywhere is turning to. If you take a job of a brain surgeon, you give it to a mechanic because you see a mechanic with a tool. What do you think is going to happen to your patient? What exactly do you think is going to happen to your patient? You will say, oh yeah, there's a hammer. I saw the neurosurgeon use hammer. So this Fulani mechanic has hammer. Let's go for it. Or would you put your life in a plane of a pilot who is about to take off? He said, I think I know where they steer. I think I know where the steering is. You will stay in that plane to fly up. This constitutional tool has caused us not to take charge of our destiny and is the basis for the threat against us and the massacre of our people. Every day we are hearing news about deaths here and there. Nobody's saying anything. They will read it in the news, is by the way, because they've chased you looking for food. If you are purchasing bag of rice for 50 and 60,000 naira, Gezi, what is left of you? How much is your salary? And once again, we are reminding you there is a way out. They are using the minorities of the north, people like Gowon, Danjuma, David, Mark, and Jeremiah Oseni. They are using them as a willing tools that they used to kill about 5 million of our people to preserve the so-called Nigeria for the caliphate. The one that Osman Danfodio reminded his British masters that he will make sure that they remain in power and controls everything for them to take over. And unfortunately, as you're watching, it's now the turn of their people to die. Poor people that didn't make any money, they didn't get oil well like Danjuma. They didn't collect anything, they are just in their farm. Now they are paying for the sins of their brothers. And of course, Obasanjo, Obasanjo. He think he will not pay. I hope he will stay alive to see the pain and sorrow he has caused to the people of Nigeria. Why he write books for us to learn how to pray, prayer books. After they commit all kinds of atrocity, the World Bank will promote them, IMF will promote them, Ndemwa will promote them, everybody will promote them, just like Flavor and the groups. The same governors that maltreat their people and use the monies of the salaries of the teachers for themselves, Flavor will be singing with their name, and stupid people will be dancing to it. As we're talking, there is mass murder of the indigenous peoples. The federal government has open support for the murderous Mieti Allah. We've seen that. He comes on TV and tells us what he wants and what he does not want. This is the same guy that has declared war against the Southwest region for
You mean Fulani government? Because the federal government is actually Fulani government.
My dear, you're right. Fulani government. Yep. So these are the people that are openly, sending threats and attacks everywhere, and nobody's saying anything. They're on our TV telling us what they're going to do. And the ATI or AI again, arise. All of them will give them the time to come and tell us how they're going to deal with every one of us. As we're speaking, up to 3 Yoruba monarchs have been brutally murdered in cold blood, all in the name to serve the caliphate. And as we are waiting, here is the plane going for a nosedive. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. You will be sad, especially for those of us that are giving birth to children. Those of you that are getting married and posting your beautiful pictures online. If you don't do anything about this, the family you are about to create may not be here any longer. So that's why this is our fight for all of us. For all of us. Everyone 18 years and above must have their hands on deck for us to get rid of this leech, this akbe in English, this thing that is stuck to our skin and sucking our blood.
Scorpion.
Not scorpion, the one that stays on the dog. Tick.
Oh, thick, Abby.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. So we love this beautiful picture here because this is one of our show and tell. Look at Norway with a population of 5 million people, and you guys have 210 million people, 210 million people. Compare that to the national debt of the money that you guys are owing. National debt to Madam here billion they had. I don't even know how to read this. Let's see how many zeros. Yeah. Oh my God, this is billion. Okay, 216 billion 949 million 567,752. So this figure here that you're looking at, I'm going to stop sharing real quick, is the figure that it was when we looked at it on Friday. So they have this death clock. This thing, when you look at it, your heart will be going fiam 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 like an alarm clock. So let me pull up that dead clock, dead
Clock.
clock.
That clock. Yes.
You can see I had to turn this thing off and run away. The thing is going fast, fast,
Yeah.
fast, fast, fast. This is the money that
Cracking
we,
up
yeah, this is our national debt.
like casino.
Casino.
Look at my mother.
At least casino, the casino people are getting money. The casino people are getting money. They're taking it away from you. So this is the national debt. As we are speaking, this is how fast it's going. I don't know if you guys are seeing these pictures here or this time ticking over here. The number is changing like this. Is doing this. This is money that the interregnum president is borrowing on your behalf and spending, and it's going up and up as we speak. So this clock, we're going to post this link, the link for this clock on
Borrowing to share among his
friends.
compatriots, not
Mhm.
borrowing to build infrastructure, borrowing to share among his friends.
Borrowing to share among his friends. So we'll put the link for that so that you go and see yourself, because more for me was causing my heart to palpitate. I had to turn it off. So going back to our PowerPoint. So this is what we're having to deal with while you pretend like all is well. While you're telling yourself, oh yeah, I went home, I came back, thank God, you know, when our people cannot say that for themselves. So when you come back home, you leave our people in unsafe environments, and you think that's okay. You think that's okay. So you have the visa, the American citizenship, you enjoy it, you go home, you do your show off, bless your house, open your house, show your cars and all this stuff, and then you come back and our people will remain in perpetual poverty. So just a little bit of economics here. We're looking at GDP. For those of us that are not aware, it's a key economic indicator that represents the total value of all goods and services that we produce over a specific time, within the borders of a country. So in this regard, Nigeria. And then when you look at the debt to GDP ratio, this is the public debt. It looks at how much money a country owes to its total debt compared to how much money it makes. Our own looks terrible. The debt to GDP ratio of Nigeria is 40.66%, meaning that the total debt is 40.66% of our total economic output. The higher the ratio, the higher the potential for a larger burden of debt compared to the size of the economy. And then the external debt to GDP ratio allows us to look at how money a country owes to a foreign entities compared to how much money it makes overall. Our numbers look no, our numbers look terrible. So looking at the economy that is sustained by foreign remittance, like we mentioned earlier, Nigeria is an economy that is sustained by foreign remittance. Please continue to help us to hit the like button, so you can see that nothing, nothing is going on in that place. Nothing is going on. It's a place where people come and steal, destroy the place, because it's not even bad that they are stealing. It's bad that land they are destroying our land where we cannot even decide to go back to farming. We'll see a nice place to farm without, exposing
And
ourselves.
destroying the people on the land as well.
Destroy.
Total annihilation.
Yes. So again, as we are speaking, that clock that we showed you earlier is still ticking. The newly released World Bank data show that $20.5 billion was sent to Nigeria last year. This is 2023, which meant it accounted for 38%. So mind you, 38%, when you round it off, you're talking about 40% of the total remittance inflow to sub-Saharan Africa. So looking at the map, the graph here, this is the picture here that depicts exactly what they're saying. If you see, nobody was even close. So this so-called Nigeria is where their stupid economy is sustained by the money they get from the outside. Ghana, as busy as Ghana is 4.9 billion. Kenya is 4.2. And even South Africa, surprisingly, not even up to a 1 billion. Inflow have steadily increased, which has been up from 20.1 billion in 2022. So 2022 it was 20.1, now we're looking at 20.5. So by comparison, the bank data showed that in 2022, overseas investors took out, I need to highlight this, they took out 186.8 million more from Nigerian economy than they put in. This is dangerous, right? Because you want your people to put into your economy, not for people to take from your economy. Very dangerous to say the least. And with that continued trend, we can see that they are dwarfing our growth. And then this is where we are right now in terms of the real GDP of sub-Saharan countries. You can see that Rwanda is way above of us. Rwanda is doing so much better. So imagine yourself, those of you that are online thinking you're all that because you call yourself a Nigerian. Yeah, are Rwandans better than you? Are Ghanaians better than you? Are Kenyans better than you? Oh my goodness, even Senegal. This is embarrassing. I didn't even see this before. Senegal, y'all, is doing better than your so-called stupid Nigeria. Why the Fulani nation is holding us hostage or holding us hostage in servitude. They will never stop because you guys are dumb and you're not willing to react.
I can come in.
Go ahead.
So, as my sister broke down all this, we can see that Nigeria is indeed a country held down, held in hostage, held hostage in servitude. That is a country that the enemy does not want to move forward. So we're asking why. We want to look at why. Why are they doing this though? Because, like we told you, we don't just come here to wipe, like, push your sentiments. Hey, whoa, they're killing us, they're killing us. That's not why this show is. Daughters of Truth is not like that. We come here to break it down for you so that you will begin to use your number 6, begin to use your sense. Whether you're educated or not, you have common sense. And if you pay attention, you will understand what we're trying to break down and it will make more sense to you. So Fulani nation, Fulani is a nation, like we told you, and they told us that their own nation does not have boundary. They flow like water. Say their population is flowing. So Buhari can open borders anywhere so that Fulani nation can flow in and flow to the south and east. And as they're flowing in, they are massacring and going. So they're doing that. They are holding Nigeria hostage in servitude to control and hold down the destiny of Nigerians, the indigenous peoples, the natives, the real owners of the land and the resources. So if the so-called Nigeria, one Nigeria that you say is your country, is held down economically, politically, and otherwise, you as human beings in that country, you will never move forward in your destiny. And we saw it when Usman Danfodio said it in his battle script of 1960. They told you and they're doing it. Another reason is to continue to steal the resources of the indigenous people. The land belongs to you. Your ancestral land belongs to you. You got it from your ancestors. The resources, the mineral resources in the land belong to you as well. But because they imposed that structure called Nigeria on your land, they will have access to your resources and continue to steal them. Why are they stealing the resources? To use it to ensure that their conquest agenda is successful. They want to build emirates in Nigeria and use it to control the world. So they will use all your resources to build an emirate that they will use to control the rest of the world. Why? Another reason, to use these resources to fund their global terror agenda. Some people say, no, it's not true. No, Fulani can never do it. They are doing it, and they have been doing it. Look at Hausa land. You will understand what they are able to do. Hausa land is completely conquered. That's why you see they can make decisions and do what they're doing. So that thing they did to Hausa people, they're going to do it to Yoruba people, to Igbo people, Tiv, Shekiri, Ijo, all of you. That's the plan. That's the
You don't
agenda.
have a choice. When hunger hits them now, they will do it to you. They're already doing it to you.
They are already doing that. So it's not something you will say, oh no, living in denial. Living in denial is not the solution. So involuntary servitude and the constitution. You see, that person is in prison. You are a slave in your own land.
Hmm.
You are a servant to the Fulani nation. You are a servant to your enemy. And you are the one allowing that to happen because of 1999 constitution. So far, your politicians keep swearing to and upholding and making up their mind to uphold the 1999 constitution, just like Peter Obi said he would do. Just like Professor Soludo, that professes nothing, says he will do. And all the people that have one time or the other held political position, Okonjo Iweala, who told you that when you hear professor, you should start running away because it means brain damage. The book they read, it has damaged their brain. So they cannot critically analyze anything. So you hoping that Professor Tommy, Professor Okonjo Iweala, Professor Soludo, Professor Ndimo, you hoping that they will one day do something that will free you is like waiting for the devil to give you salvation.
Mm.
That will never happen.
Oh my goodness.
Their brain damaged as a result of what they had to memorize to get the stupid degree they got from the white man. The more you are exposed to the Western education, their type, because the Western education, the type that they teach in Nigeria, is not the type they teach in some other places. We're not saying that people should not go to school, but for you to know that what you have in Nigeria is not real education. When you get that certificate, you cannot use it to do anything. You can have a certificate civil engineer. You become a civil engineer and you got the certificate. You can't build bridge. You don't know how to do. So you are not able to apply whatever you memorize in class to get that
Sure.
degree in outside to solve problems. Have you
Mm.
seen it's a wasted time? That is not the type of education that people need. The education that works is the education that after you are taught in class, you will use what you learn in class to go inside the world to solve problems. So that's why Nigeria is collapsing, because the education, the degrees Nigerians are getting are not really, they're not being educated, they're being brainwashed. Like when somebody says Mungo Park is a founder of River Niger, that is a lie.
Yeah.
How can you develop sense listening to something like that? So you will never become that person that you ought to be. So don't be surprised that your professors are not able to solve simple problems. In fact, market women are better at solving problems than your professors.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get bamboozled when they come saying, I'm Professor this and Dr. this. Say, Enyim, keep the certificate, come, let's discuss. Talk one-on-one, sense to sense. You
Mm-mm.
see,
Ask some manual ask them that.
exactly. So we have told you why the Fulani nation is holding Nigeria hostage in servitude. They have the agenda, they have their plan, and they're going on with it. And all the ethnic nationalities, if you want to be 150, if you want to be 350, all of you are going to be swallowed in that their wicked agenda. So we look at eco wars and ECO is. They call it ECOWAS, but it is now ECOWAS. You can see the map, what ECO was, and what it is today. See, 3 nations have pulled out. So this is what we have left. And this gives me an idea of what is going to happen to that your one Nigeria. Because when these people were boasting about their ECO wars, they didn't know what was coming.
Hmm.
They didn't know that people are going to wake up and begin to decamp from their
The place that
caricature.
brainwashing the leaders and
Yes,
insisting for them to carry on their agendas.
yes, their caricature of whatever they call it. So you see, the people, why are these people, these 3, Mali, Burkina Faso, and which other one? Why are they breaking away? Niger, yes. Why are they breaking away? They are breaking away from tyranny. They are destroying the vestiges of colonialism and neocolonialism in their ancestral space. That's why they're moving away. They are moving away from what is not working for them. So I say, yeah, the ECOWAS, excuse me, oh, we are coming together to do what? Coming together to do what? Usually when they say Nigeria is giant of Africa, giant that is doing what?
Giant of open air prison.
Exactly. Dead giant. A dead giant.
A giant that doesn't have a seat now, a decision making at UN.
I'm telling you. And you call yourself a giant. So it's wasted time, wasted union, wasted effort, wasted everything. So people that have sense are breaking away from this type of nonsensical entities. These people are dethroning the local colonial puppets in their midst. Because we keep telling our people, you shouting freedom, freedom, freedom is not the way to get freedom. You must understand the process and begin to do things. And we say kudos to our sister, Arikana, Dr. Arikana, because this is her handwork. She's one that got to the UN or wherever she got to, and she put her idea and saw
African
what was
Union.
going on. Africa, and saw what was going on. And said, and then she alerted the youths of her region, the Francophone youths, and they listened to her, which is what we expected Okonjo-Iweala like Obokunjandamo. All she's doing there is to take selfie in World Trade Union or whatever. One single woman, she saw what was going on. She brought out the information, just like what her brother Tony Nadi did when he got to the oil company. He saw the documents. He said, what's going on? That is why you're seeing today. People are taking back their economic assets from colonial monsters, as they should. These Francophone countries are restoring their ancient ruins, blotting out every written code against their people so that they can make space for prosperity and development. This thing is not by shouting. And I keep telling our people, there is no need for war. There is no need for you to go and say, hey, we want to fight war, give us arms and bullets. No. There's no need, because the assets belong to you. All you need to do is rise up and take it back. And then decide who you want to do business with. It's as simple as that. And that is what NINAS is helping us to do by organizing us, giving us all the information and the tools we need to execute this self-determination project. You don't need noise making. It's to work with your brain. We want to look at the people's verdict on Nigeria because the people have spoken. Sometimes they speak without knowing that they are speaking. But those of us that are looking at what is going on, we are watching to see what is going on. So we see them that they are speaking, and we can come here and tell you that the people are speaking. So the souls of Nigerians have departed from the Nigerian Union of Death. That's why we told you that they like to love Nigeria from afar. The Japa syndrome. That Japa syndrome What it signifies is that Nigerians are rejecting, deserting, and leaving the union of death in their droves. They're saying no to Nigeria as currently constituted. That's why they're running away. If you love your nation, you will not run away. You will stay in it. But because you don't want it anymore, you are leaving. That's what it means. And that's what you're saying. You are rejecting it. The soul of Southeast departed Nigerian Union from 1966 killings. When they killed our people, 1966, that's when our people said, no. They say, they were saying that they wanted to defend themselves, that they want to get out of this Nigeria. That's why they went to Aburu. So we know what our people want. When some people will say, hey, do you know what the people want? We know what our people, we're not deaf. Our people have been speaking for years, acting and showing that this is what they want. So politicians that are pretending they don't know what the people want, they are criminals. We know what our people want. Are we talking about Middle Belt? Their soul departed from union of death called Nigeria after the killing of Gideon Oka and his compatriots, 1990. The same with the soul of Southwest. The Southwest region, their soul departed after the killing of MKO Abiola, July 7th, 1998. So what is left? All these regions have left. They are just existing. Their mind had gone. What is left is the caliphate and the Fulani nation, of course, and Sharia North. They are the ones struggling, trying to manage the toxic carcass of the dead one Nigerian, which they have killed everyone to keep. They killed everyone trying to sustain one Nigeria. So people have spoken. They do not want Nigeria as currently constituted. And because people have spoken, that is why LNC, Ninas, are working for the people. To give them a voice, to organize what they're saying in a way that international communities and everyone that has good conscience will understand what the people are saying. That is the work of Ninas and LNC. And that's why the liberation they put in place, the liberation project, the script, and have been following it step by step. 5 phases over 21 years period in measured pattern. Because if you're going to bring down a carcass, a dead giant, if you pull it down anyhow, it will collapse and destroy everyone. So they put it in phases so that gradually, if you remove the tail, you remove the hand, you dismantle the neck, you dismantle the ear, gradually removing the parts, because it's dead. Nigeria is dead. The Caliphate one Nigeria is dead. They're just removing the parts so that the entire giant will not collapse on everyone. So the essence of doing that is to completely overturn the rogue 1999 constitution and to topple the legal basis of one Nigeria ahead of the joint jailbreak by the trapped constituent components of the failed British Caliphate criminal project. One Nigeria is British Caliphate project, a criminal project. It does not belong to the people. And that project has failed. You can see when my sister was telling you about the money. The failure of economy, Nigeria is a failed state. There's nothing anybody can do about it. You just continue to deceive yourself. So it's a failed state and it's going down. However, thank God for Ninas that has put in place what will help us to manage this collapse so it does not kill the indigenous peoples. You see the ship carrying the Japa people. as you see this number of people staying in plastic in polythene bag, before they get to the middle of the middle sea, Mediterranean Sea, the whole thing will collapse, and all these people you're seeing will become fish and food to fish, sharks.
Mm.
Our children are dying in numbers while we play around and deceive ourselves that we have a country. We don't have a country. It's dead and it's going down. So the 5 points, Nina's 5 point proposition, is the only viable mechanism for simultaneously halting the caliphate conquest onslaught and the state capture of Nigeria. This thing that is going on, you can stop it today just by embracing the Nina's 5 point proposition. You
Yeah.
embrace it, you go to your villages and teach your people, like we are seeing some people already doing, because we know our people are what people have been asking questions. Genuine people, I'm not talking about criminals that are looking for what to steal and how to use the people's pain to make money. Genuine people are coming and say, what can we do? And we say, go and enlighten your people, go and educate your people, and they are moving. So kudos to all of you. As well, also, the Nina's project, we also safely navigate Nigeria to the harbor of constitutional reconstruction. So the verdict of the people is that they don't want this one Nigeria as currently constituted, and they don't want National Assembly to bring out another constitution. That's not what it is. They want to take back their sovereignty and decide how they want to live. That is self-determination, according to the template that Ninas has put in place. So that is what it is. So we're going to give you the final decommissioning of the union of death, the sequence of events. The first one is repudiation of the 1999 Constitution. It has been done already. It has been done already. It went to all the regions, did solemn assemblies in all the regions. All the people repudiated the 1999 Constitution, and there's evidence online. If you go to YouTube and everywhere, you see there are picture and video evidence of the things that happened and how the indigenous people did these things in their own ancestral lands. It has been done. Then the next one is constitutional force majeure, which was done already 3 years ago, 2020, December 16th, 2020. You see, sequence of events. Where we are now is number 3, transition. We are going to transition from failed state to a workable solution. Nigeria is a failed state where it is now. But we don't want vacuum, and there shouldn't be vacuum. So we are going to do transition like they did in South Africa and all over the world. These things have been done before. So we are just going to do what others have done. So we do transition from point A to point B. Within that transition, we're going to have referendums and plebiscites. Referendum is where the people speak. How the people speak. You say, let's know what the people, you give them referendum. They will vote, and it's multi-regional referendum. They will say what they want. Are they going to be inside? Are they going to be outside? What did they want? Even when people say, oh, this part of land, this part of Yoruba land, this part of, it's not what you impose on people. The people on that land will decide where they want to be. They will vote. That's how things are done in the modern world. No need for war, no need for chaos, no need for any of this nonsense that people move around doing. The people on the land will vote and say, we want to belong here or we want to belong there. It is the people's right. The 2007 Declaration for Indigenous Peoples' Rights has said it, that self-determination is the people's right, and they will decide how they want to live, who they want to live with, and what are the terms. So number 5, new constitutional order. That's the last thing. So for those that are making noise, new constitution, people listen to us. We are talking to the indigenous people. We don't have time with politicians, so our church leaders. We are not talking to church leaders,
Hmm.
members, or Islamic people, all these religious people. That we're not talking to you. We are talking
Religious,
to
all
the
these religious bandits.
religious bandits. We are talking to the people Ndi obodo in Igbo land, in Igbo say Ndi obodo, Ndi Nwane. The ancestral land belong to people. They are the ones we are here for every Saturday to educate them. It's not your criminal pastors that are partners with the colonial monsters and colonial politicians and stealing the resources and sharing and buying private jets and moving up and down, conducting Shiloh and all those nonsense they're doing while the people are dying and perishing. We are not the ones, they're not the ones we are talking to. So 1 and 2 has been done already. We are on stage 3. And from there we move. So you see, constitution making is the last thing. Because you have to decide, because that's why I say constitution, constituents. The constituent will decide how they want to live. So you have to decide, first of all, who are the constituents?
Right.
What is the entity? Who are they? How many people are coming into here? Then before we now say, okay, do we need charter of relationship? Do you need constitution? That's why we tell you that true federalism comes from down up. So the constitution making will go from the grassroots, they will now go up. Then the top will be where they will federate the people, the constituent. So for a true federation, you're going to have component constitutions. So if you have 5 federating blocks, for instance, you're going to have 5 constitutions coming together, and then you now have the federal constitution. So you can't have federation when you don't have federating components. It's not possible. That's deception. So we're explaining these things to our people to understand, because when you understand it, it will be easier for you to talk to the criminals that call themselves the people that are representing you. Not so that they will represent you, but so that they will stop what they're doing and get out of the way so that you can do what you want to do. Because the land belongs to you. You are the owner of the land, not the hired managers, which are the politicians. Those ones, you employ them. So you can sack them any moment.
419ers turning to politicians.
Yes, power belongs to you. So look at why African men cannot do it alone. Please continue to help us to share and like. Why is it that African men cannot do this thing we are saying, this life alone? We have lied to ourselves long enough, and we want as mothers to break it down for us too, so that it will make sense to us. You see, the space we live in, we all live in it. Men, women, children. You can see the picture. So the space we live in, we should have a say, all of us. So you cannot speak on our behalf, African men. You don't even know what we need as women. Just like we women will not go and speak on your behalf, because we are women, we are not men. So everyone will be part of it. And that's how we had in our culture, in Igbo culture. The women had their group, children, youths, age grades, all the men and everybody. If there's an issue, everybody will bring what they want. Because how an issue affects me as a woman might not be how it affects you as a man. So you see why you cannot, that's a Sharia system where they put women in powder, cover them up and speak on their behalf.
My dear, they like women that are strong. I was watching this documentary and this guy saw this white woman, the Fulanese. They saw this white woman on a bicycle. They said, "Ah, good woman, a good woman, a good woman." I said, "Ah, but you lock yours up."
Exactly. And that's why I tell our women that do not agree. Kwechiri, it says stay your ground. Stop accepting that you're a second-class human being. Stop accepting that you playing a second place is the right thing. Because you know what? Why you as a woman that is giving birth to children, you are not able to stand your ground and say what should be done. Your children will be the first victim, the children you gave birth to, because no one will speak for them. You see why you, as a woman, you cannot just accept that all you're coming into this world to do is to fix breast, to fix nyash, fix eye, fix head. While you're giving birth to children, that's an abomination. As a mother, you must have a voice. So in this space where we live, the African continent, we have men, women, children, everybody must have a say. It's no longer okay for men to speak for women. Women will speak what they want. We want to give our women voice, children voice, even men also. Women and children suffer more under adverse circumstances
All the time.
all the time. So it's no longer okay for them not to have a voice to say what is ailing them, how is ailing them, and what they want. Women and children are more in number. In Africa, we have more women and more children. So if you have men representing women and children, how can you confidently represent them?
The same men that like to go to war every time.
Exactly.
They're starting war.
Because all you do is start war. Any developmental project that will not take the women and children into full participation is a big joke. That cannot work anymore. And that means that sexing, because I traveled to Nigeria recently, and we could hear where people like, oh, I don't want to talk to a woman. I want to talk to man to man, man to man. That is sexism. It's part of enslavement, and it's part of adversity against the black race. Because if we have like a complete pie, and women and children are probably like, say, 75%, and we have only 25%, which is men, representing the entire pie, the entire 100%, can't you see that we are not doing ourselves well? Whether in language or attitude, sexism is offensive against the psychology and development of sound mind of a girl child. We don't want that anymore. We are talking about why African men cannot do this struggle alone. Why African men cannot do this life alone. What is up against you is more than you can imagine. So you need your women, you need your children, you need your youths. You can't fight this battle alone. You are too small. You're in number and anything to represent the entire pie and fight for the entire pie. No, that's why you're not winning. Just 25% representing 100%. When the enemy is coming with his own 100%, you're not going to win the battle. So please stop putting women down. Stop having prejudice against women. Stop discriminating against women. You're not helping yourself. Rather, you need to build your women and your youths up so that they can be part of this conversation. African women are natural managers. So any right-thinking person cannot exclude them from the economy and politics of Africa. It's so crucial. It's so important. You trying to exclude African women from politics and economy and economics of Africa is you doing yourself a disfavor. No meaningful conversation on liberation and development of Africa and Nigeria in particular can take place without women being part of the conversation. Women must be part of the conversation. Please, the next slide. Before we can have meaningful conversation on liberation and development. Women are natural critical thinkers. That is why they are able to navigate and cope with difficult children. These things come natural to them. So why will you not allow them to play the role, their God-given role, in helping to deliver Africa from colonialism? We must accommodate women, girl children, all this on all spheres of life. and all part of African development. As we are talking about emancipating Africa from what is going on, from colonialism, women must be set free. Girl child must be free. Of course, our youths, as humans, it is their right to be part of politics, part of the economy. We must make things comfortable for them to be part. We must make it like they must be part. It's not something you say, you're not doing them a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. Because the enemy is coming 100%, coming with his men and women and children and youth. Everything they have, they're coming with it. You want to represent alone and fight the battle alone? You can't do it alone, man. We must make the terrain safe and comfortable for women, youths, and children to be part of solving the problem that we have. They must be seen to be actively contributing their quota, not as wives, girlfriends, and mistresses to governors and politicians. No, not washing their clothes at home and getting ready for bed activity in the other room. That's not it. But as individuals, in their own right, with their own brain, contributing to the economy, to politics, to everything, every conversation that is going on. So let's empower our women. Let's empower our youths so that together we can work as a team. Men who find it difficult to hold meaningful conversation with women must get ready. There's nothing you can do to turn away from here. I saw them. He said, no, I can't talk to women. You are outdated.
Mumu, when you came out of a woman's nyash.
Exactly. And when it's time for sex, you will talk to woman. When it's not time for conversation, so that we'll see whether you can have sense. He said, I can't talk to women. That's outdated. Let's begin to engage women in your families, in the church, in every. You'll be surprised the type of brain, that is the type of insights you can get just conversing with women. Very intelligent and very critical. Assuming the world had given women space all this while, we will not be having all this crisis and war that we're having everywhere. Everything, hot blood, hot blood. Conflict resolution is what women do naturally, managing children. So we need to create space for our women and our youths, even as of today. In your churches, your communities, in your homes, everywhere, begin to listen, begin to have conversation with women. Men, you can't do it alone. Begin to sit down, force yourself. Stop drinking all those things people are drinking, and when you finish drinking, your bread will sparkle. Calm down and listen to the women in your lives. Your mother, your daughters, your wives, sisters, all of them. Have conversation with them so that they will give you insight. We need to work together as a team. We need to work together as partners in this project. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. What about the take-home point? There's still one more.
Oh, I thought you were going, okay, take home points. All right. Obasanjo executed the permanence of the victory of Fulani over the entire country. You know, all the things that we have said. We want you to take this home. Obasanjo was the head slave that sold everyone. No wonder they brought him out of prison. 1990. What that thing happened, I was wondering, why him? Is that there's no other person? Must they go to prison and bring a man? Excuse me. They brought him from prison, 1999, to reactivate the Victory Charter of 1975-1979. So if you're looking for who to hold, hold Obasanjo. He knows what he did. Then the ruthlessness in Bello's battle script is what has led to the death of 5 million Nigerians, 1967-70. That is also what is happening, like you're saying, in Southwest. The bloodshed in Southwest, the bloodshed in Middle Belt, Northwest, Southeast, the entire nationwide massacre going on is as a result of that ruthlessness that Amado Bello mentioned, excuse me, in the battle script, in the Fulani Nation battle script. For those that are still denying that there's no Fulani agenda, I hope you are now having a better understanding of what is going on and what we are up against. Total annihilation. You see the picture here? Chaos demons, blood sucking demons. If we don't bring down the 1999 Constitution completely and the constitutional order it represents, these demons will destroy everyone. So we can work together in alliance. Go to your villages and begin to educate your people. Of course, we are always available to talk to those that say, we don't understand. Please, can you explain it to us? We want a private meeting. A few weeks ago, we had some private meetings with some people. That's what we want. Put yourself together and say, please explain to us. We will come. We explain it to you so that we are training the trainers. You will now go and train your villagers because we want our people to be enlightened. We don't want our people to just move like they've been moving all this while, just shouting, 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 and then they're killing you, they're killing you. We don't want that. We want our people to understand the problem, understand the solution, and then understand the process for executing the solution. And then in weeks, we'll be done. So let's do it together. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. I once heard a wise man say that beginning of wisdom is men understanding that women in their life is a great asset. So take that home as well. And also, one of our sisters once said that when you train a man, you train one person. When you train a woman, you train a nation. Because women have a unique, invaluable roles as mothers who guide and nurture their children. We know what we are doing. So we are not here to make you feel any kind of way. We are not here to compete with you. We're here to make it work for you. We're here to keep the home together. We're here to make sure that things will not fall apart and then the center cannot hold. We're here to see that you enjoy your life and enjoy it abundantly, and not the ones that you get from fasting and turning into bunga fish. It is possible, my people. So we're moving forward to the Nina's 5-point agenda. I'm just gonna leave the picture on because we sort of mentioned it from the other picture that we showed, and we are running out of time. And our announcements is the spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors that's coming back soon. Our sister is always putting out this 5-minute video that you can listen to and understand why you have to change your mind. The mindset has to change for us to get where we're going. And then Twitter, we encourage you to tweet on Tuesday. You can tweet any day, but Twitter Tuesday is a great day to tweet that Nina says, right? When you have up to 10,000 people tweeting this, it will start trending. So to learn more, you can visit ninasvoice.org or thedoctorsoftruth.org. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all these social platforms. And it's about time we start getting our younger ones involved because this whole fight is actually for them. And you want to build a nation where your younger ones are well informed because we don't know what is out there. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that even if anything happens, we have put in enough information for them to carry on. And last but not least, we must insist on transition now. Do not wait for rice to become 200,000 naira. where if you catch your brother stealing, you will use stone and stone them to death when other people are taking money and taking more out of Nigeria that they're bringing in. Don't wait till that time comes when our brothers and sisters will be used as an example because they were tempted, they were pushed. Nobody is asking about their situation. Where is it, any human heart to do the unthinkable? Don't wait till that time. Until next time, brothers and sisters, we thank those of you that stayed throughout. Continue to help us to share this information. You can contact us privately. We are here as well to address any concerns that you may have. This job is for us, and that's why God is not gonna. This is not the one God is gonna do for us. He's sitting there eating oba and rice, and saying, "When you guys finish being naughty children, you go and do your homework." That's just the case. You know how our mothers are with our homework. When you finish, you go and do your homework. If not, it's waiting for you. So let's join hands together. Let's join hands with Ninas so that we can put an end to this nightmare of a nation, or I don't even know what it is, of a concussion that they called Nigeria. And don't forget to identify yourself as someone who hail from different nations, because everywhere I go, I'm not a Nigerian, no, I'm from Igbo nation. And I take time to explain it to anyone that wants to know. And they are very pleased. They said it makes sense. So I'm from Igbo nation. Carry on and introduce yourself as who you are. Do not promote the British enterprise called Nigeria for them anymore. It's enough. And even that may change. And that's where people know that you've gotten it. When they ask you where you're from and you say you're from Igbo nation, I don't even say Nigeria. I say it's close to Cameroon.
Yeah.
It's at the border of Cameroon. They were like, "Oh, I've never heard of it before." I said, "Now you have." If
Mm-hmm.
I have the time, I will go further and let them know. Unfortunately, if they are these different colors, I will let them know that their colonial bandits did it. Eh? Yeah, so the conversation start getting awkward, but I let them know.
Yeah.
And when we are done, thank you so much for educating me. Now they know. So be safe, brothers and sisters. We'll return next week.
Take
Bye.
care.
Let me turn this thing off.